As a street photographer, I'm always outside chasing light, chasing moments, and chasing people. All that work out there in the streets to capture photos means nothing if you don't know what to do with your photos when you come home. So today we're going to get into my full editing process inside the Lightroom, and I'm going to take you from start to finish to help you be able to edit your photos and take them from raw images to something spectacular. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys and girls? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Mike Patton. In this space, we're here to help photographers grow. Iron sharpens iron. And today we're going to be sharpening your editing skills inside of Lightroom. So I've been shooting street photography for about 7 years now. And one of the main things that I realized about shooting street photography is that while you may take a good photo, if you edit poorly, a bad edit on a good photo is still a bad photo. So we're going to really go into the step-by-step process here and being able to give you a great starting point so that then you can find your voice inside the Lightroom and be able to speak through your photos throughout the whole process. Let's get into it. All right, so the first thing I'll do when I get home from a shoot is I want to bring everything into Lightroom so I can see everything on the big screen. I don't want to do anything in camera. I will never delete a photo while I'm out on location. I want to see it on big screen and see what I actually captured, what the framing is saying, what the story is saying. And I have everything here in Lightroom, as you can see. And so I want to look for things like story, what's the light doing, and does it move me? Does the photo itself speak to me in any way, shape, or form? And so once I have everything go through, I want to go through kind of a second batch of culling, because while I might have captured a photo or thought it was great during the initial culling process, I really want to go back through to see if what I have works and if it is actually, going to speak to me or say anything. Some photos you take, they're not going to really speak to you. They're not really going to say any much. Like this was underexposed. I took this in a rush, and it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really say too much. So you really want to take your time with the culling process. You don't want to rush it. Make sure that you're really paying attention to the culling so that your last final gallery from your street outing actually hits hard. So it seems like we had just a tad bit of technical difficulties here. So I want to explain real quick what happened, and I'm gonna minimize OBS here. So I ended up editing the highlights. And again, if you hold Alt and you mess with your highlights, it will show you where you're clipping. Bring that back down to where I had it. And then the same with the blacks. If you go all the way down, you're crushing your blacks. And I did not do that, I had around 21. And so that was the first part. Adjust your highlights. And then of course, we then deal with the color later. Don't deal with the color first. Get your basic edits out of the way, then go into the color. And then I started to adjust my tone curves, the HSL. And so I messed with the blues a bit, brought it up just a tad bit here. And then the same with the cyan, brought it a little bit to the cyan. Not too much. Again, just very basic edits. I then did start to bring in some more magenta and a little bit of saturation here. And then I went and I decided that I wanted to make a mask. And I made 2 masks here in Lightroom using the mask tool here. I made a mask over him first, which is the subject. As you can see, as I hover over this, it just affected him. And Lightroom's gotten really good with the AI to be able to detect subjects. And then I did one for the background. So if I hover over the background, you can see that the background was affected. Well, sorry about that. That was the background, and this was the subject. So you see there on 2 different mask layers, and I did edits for each of them to separate them from each other because I really want him to stand out. He was the subject of this shot, and I thought he was very interesting. Elderly gentleman, nice tan suit, enjoying his day suit, outfit, and white hair, which grabbed my attention while I was out on the street. And so that's what made me grab this photo. And now we are going to deal with the sharpening. So I'm going to go back to his mask And I'm going to now deal with the clarity, which we did just, we didn't yet, but we will. Now, you don't want to go crazy on the clarity. If you are hitting your focus, then your photo should be relatively sharp. I don't want to do too much with the clarity at this point. I think that's very important to kind of keep this to a minimum. So I'm gonna go plus 11 here. For my people who like to do film emulations and things like that, you can add grain in. Please, 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 if you're going to emulate film, please study what actually happens with certain film stocks when they're shot at certain ISOs. And if you know you're going to emulate film, it's best that you replicate the ISO of that film so that you can get closer to the look of the film. Adding all that into how you shoot is going to help you reach closer. And that really brings me to another point about presets and why I really like the way that I edit. I used a lot of people's presets when I started out. That's how all of us start. And you get looks, again, following trends that you think are going to be your voice in how you edit and what ultimately is called to be your photo. But it doesn't. It doesn't actually get you that. It's kind of a band-aid effect almost, where it makes you feel good that you have it. You don't get to see the underlying issue, but over time, once you remove it, you realize that you hadn't actually treated the underlying issue, which was editing, and you didn't know how to edit because you just started. And that's okay. But that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you get better at that. Now, with the noise reduction, I could zoom in. Again, there is some halation here, but there's not too much on the noise. I mean, I can crank it. I'd go about 32 for him. Overall, the scene itself is not noisy, so I really don't see a point. You know, there's not too much I want to do with the noise. And then if we come down here, we always want to make sure that we have our remove chromatic aberration and our lens correction on. Very, very key. And so, you know, as we go through these steps, if you want me to explain anything deeper, if you want a deep dive, please let me know. I would definitely love to make a video on it. If these tips help you or you find them helpful, make sure that you comment that down below. Make sure you share it with somebody else who could also need some help with their editing for street photography. And so, I won't really turn on denoise or super resolution unless it's just a really, really bad photo or a really challenging shot. And so overall, now one thing for me that kind of adds in the sauce and really just gives me my signature is a vignette. I always have a slight vignette on my photos. I love a vignette. I don't know, a lot of people don't, but I like it, and so that's what I like to add in for these photos here. Now look, your edit is going to look different than mine, and that's the point. What this is give you a good starting point so that over time you can build consistency and start to find your voice throughout the whole process of photography. And it's not just the shooting, but the editing as well. And so as you do this, keep in mind that it's about helping you find your voice, not to edit like me or to edit like anybody else out here. And if you want me to go deeper on any of these steps, color grading, how I edit photos from nighttime shoots, or anything that you guys want me to touch on, please let me know down in the comments. I'm here to make content to help you all out on your journey, and so I'm down to make any type of video to help you all as artists. So make sure you go like, comment, subscribe, man. Do all the things that matter. I want to thank you all for joining in on this video. As I always say, photographers helping photographers grow. Iron sharpens iron, and like always, man, I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Peace.